Dear viewers, I deeply regret to inform you about the ongoing and intensifying conflict in the Amhara region of Ethiopia between the Ethiopian National Defense Force, ENDF, and the Amhara Fano forces. The situation on the ground has been rapidly evolving, and the latest reports are nothing short of devastating. In Este, located in the Gondar area of the Amhara region, there have been reports of intense violence. ENDF soldiers have been heavily engaging in gunfire and mortar shelling, resulting in the tragic loss of over 20 innocent Amhara civilians. These individuals, who had no involvement in the conflict, tragically became victims of this fierce fighting. Moving to the southern Wello region in Wagedi, we have received shocking and distressing news. ENDF soldiers are reported to have committed horrifying acts of violence, including the rape of 10 Amhara girls. Such acts are not only reprehensible, but also a gross violation of human rights and international law. In northern Shua, specifically in Aromania, a deeply disturbing incident has come to light. ENDF soldiers are alleged to have randomly targeted and murdered Amhara civilians, including a woman and 2 men, while they were on the road. This act appears to be in retaliation for an earlier ambush on Amhara police. Such violence and reprisals only further escalate the conflict's brutality and human suffering. Continuing in northern Shua, specifically in Mesclay, Mida, and Maranya, the situation remains dire. Mortars and shelling from ENDF soldiers have resulted in the critical injury of 7 Amhara farmers and a little girl. These innocent civilians, who were simply going about their daily lives, have fallen victim to the indiscriminate violence that plagues this region. The situation in the Amhara region of Ethiopia is nothing short of catastrophic, as the latest updates continue to reveal a disturbing and deeply troubling pattern of violence and human rights violations. These reports shed light on the grim reality faced by the people in this region. In Kobo, located in northern Wello, a shocking incident occurred where Amhara police reportedly fired at a tuk-tuk taxi, resulting in the tragic death of a nurse who was a passenger and injuring the driver. This incident demonstrates the dangerous volatility in the region, where even civilians seeking transportation become unintended victims of the violence. Mersa, also in northern Wello, has witnessed mass arrests by ENDF soldiers, targeting Amhara civilians, including Orthodox priests and students. Such arbitrary and widespread arrests not only violate the basic rights and dignity of individuals, but also create an atmosphere of fear and insecurity, undermining the very foundations of society. Este in Gondar has become a focal point of intense violence. ENDF soldiers have unleashed heavy gunfire and mortar shelling, leading to the heart-wrenching loss of over 20 innocent Amhara civilians. These individuals, who had no part in the conflict, have become the unfortunate casualties of a battle that rages on, seemingly without end. In southern Wello, specifically in Wagedi, a deeply disturbing report has emerged. ENDF soldiers are alleged to have committed acts of sexual violence, including the rape of 10 Amhara girls. Such heinous crimes inflict not only physical, but also lasting emotional scars on the survivors. The trauma experienced by these young girls is immeasurable and demands immediate attention and justice. Furthermore, it is disheartening to learn that derogatory insults are being hurled at Amhara civilians by ENDF soldiers across the Amhara region. Such actions not only exacerbate the hostility in the region, but also underscore the urgent need for respect, tolerance, and the protection of all citizens, regardless of their ethnic or regional background. In Welkite, located in the Garage Zone, another troubling development has unfolded. The local prosperity government is reportedly engaging in mass arrests of Guraj individuals. Such actions contribute to the growing web of human rights abuses and oppression in the region, further destabilizing communities and eroding the trust between the government and its people. The recent revelation of the transport of over 156,000 army uniforms to Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, raises significant questions and concerns in the midst of a volatile and deeply unsettling situation in the region. The fact that these uniforms were produced in the Hawassa Industrial Park over a span of 2 months is both intriguing and disconcerting, given the ongoing conflict and instability in the Amhara region, where the Ethiopian National Defense Force, ENDF, is clashing with Amhara Fano forces. Of particular interest is the inclusion of 25,000 Amhara Special Force uniforms among the shipment. This raises questions about the intended use of these uniforms in the context of the ongoing violence and strife within the Amhara region. The presence of these uniforms may indicate an escalation of military involvement in the region or could be seen as a strategic move aimed at further influencing the dynamics of the conflict. Equally perplexing is the inclusion of 25,000 Eritrean Defense Force uniforms. The tension on the Eritrea-Ethiopia border is well documented, and the presence of such a substantial number of Eritrean uniforms in Ethiopia suggests a complex and possibly cross-border dimension to the conflict. The simultaneous occurrence of these uniform transfers with the fighting in the Amhara region raises suspicions and merits further investigation. The timing of this uniform transport, amidst ongoing clashes and heightened tensions, warrants an explanation. It is crucial for the international community and local authorities to thoroughly assess the purpose and implications of these uniforms' arrival in Addis Ababa. Speculation and uncertainty surrounding the use of these uniforms in the midst of conflict only serve to exacerbate concerns and heighten the overall instability in the region. Understanding the reason behind the transport of these uniforms is paramount, as it could shed light on the intentions and motivations of various actors involved in the ongoing conflict. The situation calls for transparency, accountability, and an earnest commitment to finding a peaceful resolution to the crises in the region. Clarity on the role of these uniforms in the broader context of the Ethiopian conflict and regional tensions is essential to ensuring the safety and well-being of all those affected by the unfolding events. These reports collectively paint a devastating picture of the Amhara region, where violence, human rights violations, and the suffering of innocent civilians have become the norm. It is imperative that the international community steps up its efforts to address this crisis and facilitate a peaceful resolution. The protection of civilians and adherence to international humanitarian law must be at the forefront of any strategy aimed at bringing stability and peace to this beleaguered region.